Good evening, everybody. How's Earth doing? Everybody feeling good? I hope so. I'm gonna get it started in just a second here. Lining some stuff up. Making sure the audios are going. See? That right there. Gotta make sure that happens. Let me get everything going here in just a second. See, the music keeps going out. I'm just gonna have to play with this the whole time. That's all good with me. I don't mind. All right, making sure that we have everything else up and running before we get going. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get on into it, guys. Let's see, making sure that I can get this on there though. All right. So, good evening, everybody. This is Sovereign Starseed. This is my spaceship. I'm super grateful that you guys are able to make it. Anybody that does make it. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about the news. Talk about it usually from a sovereign perspective. And yeah, this is my first time streaming it back on the Mac. So let me know if we're having any problems here. And we're going to do our best to make sure this is a good stream. All right, let me just go ahead and check one other thing. All right, cool. Sounds good. So every night at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 o'clock Universal, I usually try to bring you the daily crypto news. Due to the holidays, that's been a little bit off schedule, but it's all right. We'll be getting back on schedule in no time. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into the crypto news because this stuff is good. It's exciting. It's something that we should be knowing about. It's something that we should be staying aware of. So let me just go ahead and bring that up here. So much to remember when you start a stream. So just remember that. I can't even find my news window right now. Wow. It's because it's right behind my OBS. And then my news or my music. Cool. All right, guys. So, first of all, within this, we always like to end up seeing what's going on with the governments, see how everything is changing, and I think that always ends up keeping us really, really good and in a sovereign perspective. So, all right, so just taking a look at this. First, Cointelegraph has an article out for us tonight that says is Israel government is considering a national cryptocurrency. So, following the footsteps of Russia and Dubai, Israel is considering offering a national cryptocurrency. It's thinking about offering a digital shekel, which would correspond in value to physical shekels. So it's kind of like Tether, how it corresponds in value to the U.S. dollar. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Israel is starting to end up getting on board, and let's see. I don't know if it was on purpose, but Russia and Dubai, like, they definitely are not the only countries right now using cryptocurrencies nationally. Venezuela is just somebody else that I want to give, first of all, big shout outs to, and lots of love to, just because Venezuela is going through rebuilding right now, and they're depending completely on cryptocurrency as they rebuild their complete society. So I think that's beautiful that Israel's starting to come across with considering digital shekels. The Israeli regulators have been looking into digital currencies for a while. We were even part of this conversation. If this initiative becomes a reality, Kolu will be happy to collaborate, as we believe digital currencies are the future of money. And Kolo is an Israel-based blockchain wallet application, and they've been assisting the Israeli government in pursuing digital currencies. So I think that's pretty cool, and so now they're going to be considering a national cryptocurrency. However, at the same time, it's hard for somebody just to consider a cryptocurrency to be something national. I think, just my opinion, this is just an alien, just a human's opinion on things. And I think that with something like this, I think it might be important for us to just kind of understand that we might end up wanting to look at cryptocurrencies, at least in the beginning, for things that try to solve more global and global problems instead of just national economies. So yeah, I think that it would allow you to expand a lot further, and it would ensure the longevity a lot further as well. So this is awesome. So next, the BitcoinNews.com put out an article on Christmas Eve that said tax exemption for crypto companies until 2023. And I think that's really important, just because we just saw a few things happening with the US and Russia, where tax regulations are starting to creep down on cryptocurrencies. And so, yeah, it says here, companies involved in mining smart contracts, issuing their own tokens, and trading in cryptocurrencies in Belarus are not required to pay taxes for the next 5 years. In addition, smart contracts are part of the local law and thus find their way into the judiciary. This is an absolute novelty. Belarusian state news agency Belta announced last Friday that Belarus will become the first nation ever to make smart contracts part of its laws. So Alexander Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, has signed a decree for the development of digital currency, And I think that's beautiful because he formulated his goals in a meeting with the leading representatives of IT companies in the country. And the mechanism of smart contracts could solve fundamental human problems even without a paper-based contract, although the software is not perfect yet, says Lukashenko. So I think that's really cool. That's a really good stance to take, is to end up saying we're going to end up moving forward. We're going to end up trying to do this, even though we recognize that the technology isn't perfect yet. We're going to start to move forward with it and experience it, and start to get experience with it. So I love that, and yeah, right on. Belarus getting another thumbs up from Sovereign Starseed. Seems like y'all are getting it. You and Estonia, y'all are just looking so good in my eyes right now. And then not only that, it's going to look even better once other controlling countries are going to tighten their locks down further. Like, think about if you're in China right now, think about what kind of news I'm reading you. That's beautiful. If you are in Venezuela, if you're even in America, think about the kind of news that I'm reading you right now. People, humans, look. Belarus is making you tax exempt for the next 5 years if you do cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, in Russia and US, they just snuck a law in where they just kind of said, oh yeah, without you guys being able to vote on it, we're just going to go ahead and write this little thing in here that says crypto to cryptocurrencies are taxable events, and we want a little bit of that as well. So just want you to see that. I want you to see the difference in your governments, and the difference in the way that people are controlling other people, and the way that they like to use that, because it's all different, and we're gonna have opposing viewpoints on how this stuff is supposed to work going forward. I fully well expect it. So next, and I just love seeing that, just because, man, it's making me want to move to Belarus. So anyways, motherboard.vice.com says now, and this is, quote, the article title. I'm not paraphrasing this. This is the article. Now you can literally get fucked by the price of Bitcoin. And it says, if I was heavily invested in cryptocurrency, I'd probably be obsessed with checking a site like Coinbase. Love Sense is a connected sex toy line that offers toys that basically vibrate or pleasure its host according to market changes. And I think that's pretty interesting, and I think that these things are going to be selling quite a bit. And yeah, who knows how it's going to end up going forward, but just another novelty where you can see where people are starting to put their value. And some of that apparently is in the adult industry, where they want it to do something to you depending on the price of Bitcoin. So just think about that. As we go into some more innocent news, though, digitaltrends.com put out an article today that says sixth grader invents a water testing device that could help get the lead out. So this isn't cryptocurrency, but we also like to talk a lot about sovereignty on our channel as well. And so with sovereignty, I just wanted to bring it up that this sixth grade girl has basically made an invention that is very, very pertinent at the time, and she did it all with her beautiful mind. So 11-year-old Gitanjali Rao, I am so sorry if I'm butchering your name, is one of just 10 finalists for the Discovery Education 3M Young Scientist Challenge, and her invention just might save lives in the future. She says, my name is Gitanjali Rao, and I like finding solutions to real problems, says the 11-year-old girl finalist is in one of the most distinguished science competitions in the U.S. Her invention, a sophisticated method for testing for lead contamination in water, could significantly improve the response to chemical disasters like the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. In fact, Rao's water testing device was partially inspired by stories of chemical contamination like the situation in Flint. Imagine living day in and day out drinking contaminated water with dangerous substances like lead, Rao explains in her entry. Millions of people around the world are exposed to water containing lead and its harmful side effects. There are over 5,000 water systems in the U.S. alone with lead contamination issues. Simply detection and preventative action can help mitigate the problem, but today it takes a long time because of chemical labs and expensive equipment. My solution addresses a core issue of speedy detection of lead contamination, allowing preventative action, and even saving lives. So I think this is very good, and I think it's beautiful because, when you have an enthusiasm to try to end up saving somebody, it really, resonates a lot with somebody like me, and it also can spread your message even further just naturally. So yes, Kitan Jali Rao, you get a huge thumbs up from Sovereign Starseed, and I thank you so much for continuing to stay enthusiastic about your invention. Stay enthusiastic about trying to see the lead contamination in water. Don't burn out. Don't lose the fire, and let that expand into other projects. So that's beautiful, and I just wanted to report on that, regardless of if it's crypto or not. Because regardless if it's crypto or not, just wanted to report as well that it's just a YouTube video, but this is basically where it's a video that basically talks about how a former Facebook executive is talking about how he really feels sad about how there's so many areas in society now that have been ripped apart by social media, and it's starting to breed a lot of miscommunication, a lot of mistrust, a lot of fake news, and it's starting to push more distance into areas of life where it absolutely shouldn't be. And this is another Facebook executive who used to end up working at Facebook, and I just wanted to maybe see if we can get this to work. So let me see if I can get this to work, and give me just a second. Let's see if you can hear this. Can you hear that? No, it's all good. So it's all good. But basically, I just wanted to end up talking about it because at this time of the year, it's a time that a lot of people do a lot of soul searching. A lot of times when people are looking at trying to see what's going on with the meaning of these holidays, it's hard for them to find it. And I think that a lot of social media and other aspects of that really allow a lot of these questions to just sit without answers. And so I want just people to think about it and maybe make a phone call to somebody and just talk to them and just say, hey, you know what? I just wanted to reach out and just hear your voice because I see your pictures on Facebook, but that's just not doing enough for me right now, and I really cherish the time that I have on Earth. So that's the homework, guys. Because yeah, next got some other cool news. There's a FDIC chair. She used to work on FDIC, and she's talking about exactly why we should not be banning Bitcoin. And I think it's amazing because this is the Federal Deposit Insurance Company chair, the formal. So Sheila Blair testifies before the House Financial Services Committee hearing on examining how the Dodd-Frank Act could result in more taxpayer-funded bailouts. Um, so this was a picture in 2013. But I am just trying to see how government should respond to Bitcoin. Instead of making its own value judgments about Bitcoin, what government should do is first make sure our policies don't feed the frenzy. Certainly, federally insured banking organizations should not be allowed to or indirectly support Bitcoin speculation. Government should also take steps to help ensure that Bitcoin price, wherever the market assigns it, is reflective of investors making informed decisions, free of fraud and manipulation, and that trading is not facilitating illicit activity. Fortunately, regulators have already taken positive steps in those directions. So I can agree with most of that, but I would just say that, this area right here where it talks about how it's reflective of investors making informed decisions free of fraud and manipulation. I think that's just something that is a nice idea, but it's something that's hard for you to put on paper going forward and have anybody realistically expect to trust it. So it's something that I think is good that she's speaking out, and she's saying that, we definitely want to end up doing something here and acknowledging this, but I don't think that regulating it and trying to say that this is a free zone free of fraud it's so hard to say. So yeah, because of that, it's a good idea, but it's hard to put on paper and have anybody want to believe it. So I would just want to ask that we end up putting more realistic ideas onto paper that we could see. Whereas like free of fraud and terrorism and things like that, it's going to take a long time for humanity to try to remove those types of traits. So, but like I definitely appreciate that. We definitely have people that are rooting for Bitcoin because this is something else that it's telling. So if we have an FDIC chair in an article talking about why we shouldn't ban Bitcoin, then that means that the topic of banning Bitcoin is being discussed. And banning Bitcoin is something that I don't think is really going to be possible, even for the US now to do with what we've just seen Belarus do. And Venezuela is now taking on Petro as well as Bitcoin. And yeah, it's going to be hard for anybody to try to ban it. So I think that, they're going to allow people to speak up on why it should be banned and why it shouldn't be banned, and then maybe make like some type of decision on it. When I say they, it seems like the US government. That's just where I'm living at currently. So CoinDesk.com put out an article that says editable blockchains, mining futures, 2017 saw crypto patents pile up. So, hey, Frank Stimson's up on the spaceship. I appreciate you for being here, man. Yeah. I think it will work great. I know. Welcome aboard, my friend, and yeah, make yourself at home. We got so much room. We got so much to talk about. So appreciate you for sticking around, becoming a regular, my friend, because you're gonna help the spaceship fly. So yeah, what I was just going to talk about here as well is CoinDesk put out an article that's talking about how the past 12 months have seen a range of patent applications focused on cryptocurrency or blockchain applications, including some notable firms such as banking giant Bank of America and credit scoring giant FICO. So this is pretty cool because yeah, we're seeing the patents come down. We're like, everybody's all like, hey, we now see that there is some definite potential in this. So yeah, we don't mind trying to get a patent on it. So Bank of America has an exchange. It has a patent that's been awarded for an exchange. Accenture secured a patent this year for an editable blockchain, a concept celebrated by some and sharply critiqued by others. I would say that unbalanced. I think that that's a celebration on some aspects, and I don't like it in other aspects. I see both sides. Both sides. Can you see both sides of an editable blockchain? Why is that such an awesome thing? And why is that such a horrible thing? So it's good to think about. So, yeah, moving forward, um, we just saw like so many different things. FICO is getting it's getting a patent application. It published in September. It outlined a method for detecting illegal cryptocurrency transactions. So hold on. Hold on. Here's my question, humans. How hold on. How can FICO get a patent on illegal cryptocurrency transactions when there hasn't been any laws made on cryptocurrencies at the time of the award of the patent? Do you see how some people have rushed things and how we don't have a legal framework yet, but now there's a patent for people to try to detect illegal. Come on, come on. What is FICO's intentions? Yeah, can the bank survive without a complete transformation? Absolutely not. Absolutely. You know what they would have to do? They would have to transform into a decentralized worldwide bank. And a lot of humanity's already talked enough about the new world order that it's going to be hard for a bank to do that. Here's the other thing, though. I always try to be open and consider and think about how Bitcoin could possibly be one of, the creations from some private society, some private bank. Um, you never know. And so because of that, we always try to keep our mind open about this. And I'm never going to end up closing my eyes completely to the possibility of that. So while it's not clear if has begun tracking Bitcoin exchange data, the filing showed that major firms outside of banks, brokerages, and investment firms are exploring how the tech might impact them and the kinds of functions they may serve in a possible future of wholly digital currencies and assets. One of the year's more notable filings came from China UnionPay, the payment card and ATM giant. Um, China UnionPay is looking at how it might connect its ATM network to a blockchain. At its heart, the proposed system would use a blockchain as a kind of global clock, leveraging it to synchronize the ATMs and the mass amounts of data they process. There's a patent filing for a hardware device that enables cryptocurrency trading. Given that one of its listed inventors, economist Richard Sandor, is credited as having pioneered the financial product in the 70s, the device described would tie digital currencies to derivatives contracts, ensuring security by placing the registry in a repository that is not publicly accessible. However, the registry would function as a mechanism for delivering the cryptocurrency. There's one. Derivatives mining. CME Group launched its first Bitcoin futures contracts on December 18th. In a filing from earlier this year, suggests that it could create products aimed at specific parts of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So there we go. Now we're seeing like all kinds of different coming out from 2017 about how banks are going to try to put the reins on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin going forward. I find it fascinating. I find it hilarious, and it's going to be a good show. So I just ask the humans of Earth, how are you going to take this? Are you going to allow these types of patents to control how you're going to spend your Bitcoin and where you can spend your Bitcoin? Or are you completely sovereign about it? So next in the news, Cointelegraph put out a Bitcoin-only charity fund donates $1 million to the Internet Archive. So Pineapple Fund has donated $1 million in Bitcoins to the Internet Archive this Saturday. Pineapple is a Bitcoin-only charity established in early December of this year, whose ultimate goal is to give $86 million worth of Bitcoin to various nonprofit organizations. For early adopters, Bitcoin's massive rise in value has been a remarkable ride from rags to riches. In the fund's homepage claims our main themes are supporting medical research, gender equality, and taking innovative approaches to do good in this world. The motive for the donation is explicit on the site as well. Donate $6 million of Bitcoins to charity. Once you have enough money doesn't matter. And that's pretty much it. And I agree with that, and I think that's beautiful. And the fact that they're donating $1 million to the Internet Archive shows what they're about. And I think it's pretty congruent with what I care about. I care about gender equality. I care about freedom for all. I care about people just being able to empower themselves to the point where they won't need to end up going to a government to ask them what to do, to help them get out of the problems that the people are starting themselves. Because if the people can be enough to talk to each other and just reach out, then would we really need massive control, And will we need massive surveillance? Will we need all these other things, that we're flirting with the idea of and can definitely see coming down the pipeline in certain